The desert did not roar. It whispered, quiet, merciless, and eternal. Its breath came in shimmering waves across the sand, blurring the horizon until even the distant mesas looked like ghosts trying to remember their own shapes. On that pale ground lay a rancher whose strength had long since abandoned him. His shirt was torn, his lips cracked, his eyes reduced to two dim embers fighting a losing battle against the sun's glare. He tried to swallow, but his throat felt carved from stone. The vultures drifted above him, circling with ancient patience, spiraling like dark thoughts waiting for permission to descend. He lifted a trembling hand, not to ward them off, but as if apologizing to the very sky for existing longer than he should. His horse was gone, spooked during the night. His canteen lay overturned in the sand, dry as bone. For a fleeting moment, he thought of his wife's voice, soft as dusk wind on cottonwood leaves. Then even that memory began to slip from him, scattered by the heat. "This is where I end," he whispered, though no one remained to hear it. And the desert, vast and indifferent, seemed ready to agree. A dying sun bleeds gold across a jagged horizon. The air trembles with heat mirages. The wind whistles like a warning. Down below, rancher Elias Grant, 40s, worn, disciplined, stubborn, pushes his exhausted mare uphill, eyes fixed on a thin trail of smoke twisting into the sky. He narrows his eyes. Elias. Smoke that thin ain't from no campfire. That's distress, or death. Elias descends the ridge. The smoke thickens, drifting from a broken wagon half buried in sand. Arrows jut from the wood, still vibrating faintly from impact. He halts his horse. Silence. No birds. No movement. Elias. Quietly. This ain't right. He draws his rifle. The door hangs by a hinge. A charred cooking pot smolders nearby. Blood tracks curve behind the wagon as if someone was dragged. Elias crouches, touches the sand, still warm. A sudden metallic snap behind him. He spins around, rifle ready. And freezes. A tall Apache woman, Nayne, late 20s, fierce, statuesque, bloodied but unbowed, stands behind him with a drawn obsidian knife. She is breathing hard, injured, her stance unstable but deadly. Nayne. Move, and you die, rancher. Elias. Steady now, I ain't here to harm no one. Nayne. Your people did this. Points at wagon. Your people hunt us. Burn us. Take from us. Elias. That ain't my people's work. Looks around. This is raider sign. Not military. Not settlers. She wavers. Her vision blurs. She tries to hold the knife steady, fails, and collapses forward. Elias catches her before she hits the sand. Elias. Hey now. You're hurt real bad. She weakly grabs his shirt, whispering. Nayne. My people will kill you, if they find me in your arms. Elias. Well, then we best move before anyone gets the wrong idea. He lifts her carefully and places her on his horse. Elias rides hard through the dark with Nayne slumped against him. Her breathing is ragged. Nayne. Feeble. Why help me, cowboy? Elias. Because I ain't the kind to watch someone die when I can stop it. She opens her eyes slightly, confused, moved, but still suspicious. Nayne. If you save me. Weak smile. You bring death to your doorstep. Elias. Lady, my doorstep's seen death before. The ranch is silent and dark. Elias dismounts with Nayen in his arms. He glances around to ensure no neighbors are watching. He kicks the door open. Dim lantern light flickers across old wooden walls. Elias lays Nayen on his bed. He moves quickly, water, cloth, herbal salve, stitching tools. Elias. Don't go giving up on me now. You hear? He begins tending her wounds. She winces but doesn't pull away. Her eyes lock onto his with a mixture of fear and dawning trust. Nayen. You are different. Elias. Never took pride in fitting in. The moon hangs cold above the quiet property. A single figure stands at the edge of the field, watching the house silently. Then another figure joins him. Then another. Within seconds, dozens of Apache warriors materialize from the darkness. None speak. None move. They simply watch Elias home, in total silence. A pale blue twilight creeps over the land. The ranch sits silent. Still. Too still. Behind the barn, hidden in the tall grass, 6 Apache scouts kneel like shadows carved out of the earth. Their eyes never blink. Their faces painted with ash-white war markings. A lone OWL hoots. The scouts rise. They vanish. Elias jolts awake in a chair. He fell asleep watching over Nayen. She's breathing better. Her color is back. But her eyes snap open suddenly. Nayen. Low, terrified. You must leave this house. Now. Elias. Easy, you're safe. You need rest. She grabs his wrist with surprising strength. Nayen. You do not understand. Voice trembling. My tribe, they watched us all night. Elias freezes. Elias. Watched? Nayen. Quantity whisper. Warriors do not enter at night. Night is for spirits. Morning is for judgment. Before Elias can respond, a shadow crosses the window. Then another. Then another. The sun barely touches the horizon when the Apache war party surrounds the ranch in total silence. Not shouting. Not threatening. Just waiting. War paint. Spears. Bows. Rifles. Black horsehair masks. At their center stands Chief Kohana, 60s, stern, unshakable, carries the weight of a nation. Beside him, Tarek, Nayen's brother, young, impulsive, eyes burning like a rising storm. Tarek. Furious. Bring her out. Bring out my sister. Kohana raises a hand. Tarek clenches his jaw and falls silent. The chief signals 2 warriors. They step forward. Elias peeks through the window. His face tightens. Elias. Well, hell. Nayen. They believe you captured me. Or worse. She struggles to stand. Elias catches her. Elias. Hold on, you ain't walking out there like this. They'll think. Nayen. Weak but fierce. If I stay inside, they will kill you. If I go out alone, they may kill me. Swallows hard. But if we walk out together. She hesitates, fear in her eyes. Nayen. It shows I chose to be here. Elias nods slowly. Elias. Then together it is. He helps her to the door. The door creaks open. Nayen steps out, leaning on Elias. The warriors tense, ready to draw weapons. Until Nayen raises her hand. Nayen. In Apache language. I walk with this man by choice. A ripple moves through the crowd, surprise, confusion, fury. Tarek steps forward, trembling with rage. Tarek. In Apache. You shame us. You shame father. You shame our dead. Nayen. I live because he helped me. He bled for me. Would you rather I died? Tarek draws his blade. Tarek. Better to die Apache than be touched by a white rancher. Elias steps in front of Nayen instinctively. Elias. I ain't looking for trouble, but I ain't letting you harm her. The warriors all draw weapons. A heartbeat. Another. Then. Chief Kohana strides forward. His voice is deep, controlled, dangerous. Chief Kohana. In English. Rancher. Beat. You saved my daughter's life. Elias' eyes widen. Elias. Daughter. Chief Kohana. Yes. And because of that. Steps closer. You have earned one sunrise of mercy. The chief points at Elias' barn. Chief Kohana. But understand this. At sunrise tomorrow. We will speak of war. Tarek snarls in agreement. The warriors begin to retreat, one by one, melting back into the desert. Nayen turns to Elias. Nayen. You should run. Elias. Not my style. Nayen. Then you will die. Elias. Maybe. Soft smile. But at least I'll die knowing I helped someone worth helping. Nayen looks at him, something shifting in her eyes. The entire Apache war party rides away like dust carried by the wind. Only one remains at the ridge. Tarek, staring down with hatred that burns as bright as the rising sun. The morning arrives heavy with tension, like a drum pulled taut. A thin veil of dust drifts through the air. Even the cattle stand quiet, sensing the strange weight that hangs over the land. Elias stands outside the house, staring toward the empty ridge where the Apache war party disappeared hours earlier. His jaw shifts. His hands tremble just once, then steady. Inside, Nayen sits on the edge of her bed, her posture rigid. She is awake, alert, and far stronger than the day before. Her gaze remains fixed on the window, her expression unreadable. Elias enters with a tin cup of warm water. Elias. You should drink. Staying strong matters now more than ever. She accepts the cup without meeting his eyes. Nayen. My father will return. Soft, ashamed. But not with thanks. Elias. I gathered that. He sits across from her, elbows on his knees, studying her like a man studying a storm cloud, fascinated, wary, aware he is too close. A long silence stretches between them. Nayen. You do not understand what saving me means to them. To my people. I belong to the tribe before I belong to myself. Voice lowers. And to save a woman, especially a warrior girl, is to hold a claim over her fate. Elias stiffens, surprised. Elias. I don't lay claim to nobody, miss. I only kept you alive because any decent soul should have done the same. Nayen's eyes soften, but only slightly. Nayen. Decency is not a language my people believe the white world speaks anymore. Elias nods, accepting the truth even as it wounds him. Nayen suddenly lifts her sleeve. A long, deep scar runs from her wrist to her elbow, ugly, healed badly, the mark of a blade. Elias draws in a breath. Elias. Lord above. Naan. Quiet. Tariq gave it to me. He said pain makes a warrior strong. I think, he believes fear does the same. She lowers her sleeve slowly. Naan. He will not allow me to choose anything for myself. Not even who I trust. Not even who I stand beside. A beat. She looks up, finally meeting Elias' eyes. Naan. That is why he wants you dead. Not because you touched me. But because I let you. Her words fall heavily, like stones in deep water. Elias steps outside to clear his head. He grips a fence post, breathing in the dry air. His voice trembles when he speaks, barely audible. Elias. To himself. How did I end up in the middle of another family's war? He thinks of the last time he held his late wife's hand. The last promise he made. The oath he broke by living so long in silence. He presses a hand to his eyes. Elias. I ain't running from another soul again. Elias returns to find Naan standing, without support, testing her strength. Elias. You shouldn't be up yet. Naan. If I cannot stand today, I will not survive tomorrow. She studies him, then gestures to a chair. Naan. Sit. We must talk about what comes next. Elias sits. Naan. Your ranch will be watched from now on. They will judge every fire you light, every horse you saddle, every track you leave. Elias. Sounds like I've lived under quieter moons. Naan. Ignoring the joke. But there is something you must know. My mother's tribe was not Apache. They were the War Sisters. A matriarchal band feared by every nation of the desert. Elias lifts his eyebrows. Elias. War Sisters. Never heard of M. Naan. Few have. They take only women. They raise them in silence, in strength, in shadows. I was taken between both worlds. My father's people, and hers. She places a hand on her chest. Naan. I do not fully belong anywhere. Except, perhaps. Here. For now. The admission stirs something in Elias, something fragile. Elias. Well, reckon a ranch is big enough for two souls who ain't sure where home is anymore. She almost smiles. Almost. Evening settles in. Elias cooks beans on the stove. The scent fills the small house. He hands Naan a bowl. She hesitates. Naan. In my tribe, sharing food means temporary peace. Elias. Then let's call this place peaceful. At least for tonight. They sit across from each other, eating in silence, each lost in private storms. Outside, coyotes begin to howl. After dark, Elias steps onto the porch. A single Apache figure stands far off near the ridge, a sentinel, watching without moving. Naan joins him on the porch. Naan. They will come again at sunrise. But tomorrow. They will not leave peacefully. Elias does not flinch. Elias. Then tomorrow, we speak truth. And if that's not enough, we hold the line. Naan looks at him, studying the quiet iron beneath his calm surface. Naan. You are unlike any man I have known. Elias. Same could be said of you, miss. A stillness falls between them. Not fear. Not tension. Something, gentler. The camera pulls back, showing two figures standing side by side against the vast, lonely night. The world is blue and breathless. That fragile hour before the sun steps over the rim of the earth. The ranch lies quiet, wrapped in a silence so complete it feels less like absence and more like anticipation. Even the long grass refuses to sway. Elias stands outside, fastening the last strap on his saddle. His face is carved with decision. Behind him, the door opens. Nayen steps out wrapped in a wool blanket, her hair loose, her expression unreadable yet alert. Nayen. You mean to leave? Elias. Not leave. Look. He gestures toward the southern ridge. The direction the Apache war party disappeared. Nayen approaches him slowly, her steps soft on the dry earth. Nayen. Elias, my father will not speak to you. Not as you hope. Elias. I ain't hoping for friendship. Just sense. A man deserves to know why blades were raised at his door without warning. Nayen lowers her gaze. Nayen. I warned you. Tarek does not see reason. He sees trespass. Violation. Threat. Elias. Then maybe he needs to hear the truth from me, not from the shadows in his own mind. Nayen studies him with a mixture of fear and admiration. A long silence stretches between them before Nayen finally speaks. Nayen. My father believes I was taken. That you held me against my will. He believed shame was brought upon us. Upon me. Her voice shifts, fragile but resolute. Nayen. He will not be satisfied until one of us lies beneath the earth. That is how his world works. How he was raised. How war carved him. Elias's breath escapes him in a slow, painful exhale. Elias. I never wanted trouble for you. Or for him. Or for anyone. Nayen. That is why he fears you. A good man unsettles a violent one more than any enemy blade. The truth lands between them like a stone dropped into shallow water. Clear, heavy, unavoidable. Elias steps closer, his voice lowering. Elias. If I go alone, maybe your father spares you. Maybe he sees sense. Maybe he doesn't. But trouble won't fall on your shoulders again. Not for something that weren't your doing. Nayen's eyes lift sharply, hurt blooming quickly beneath her composure. Nayen. Do not speak as if I am a burden. Elias. You're not. You never were. But I won't be the reason your own people turn against you. For the first time since he met her, Nayen steps back, wounded. Nayen. You think this is about blame? About guilt? It is about choice. Something I have never been granted. She grips the blanket at her shoulders. Nayen. Your world speaks of freedom. Yet mine binds me to a man who thinks pain is wisdom and blood is duty. Her voice cracks, barely audible. Nayen. I fear him, Elias. Not for what he'll do to you. But for what he'll demand of me. The wind shifts, carrying her words as if the desert itself is listening. Elias's expression hardens with a quiet, moral resolve. Elias. Then I can't let him drag you back into that kind of life. No father should govern by fear. No warrior should raise a hand to his own blood. Nayen turns away, trembling, hiding her face from him. Finally, she faces him again. Nayen. So what will you do? Elias looks toward the saddle, then toward the open desert. Then back at her. Elias. I go to him. But not as a challenger. Not as prey. As a man speaking truth before the storm breaks. Naen. Soft, terrified. He will not hear you. Elias. Then he'll hear the desert behind me. The silence that follows is thick, almost tangible. Naen steps closer, lifting a hand, hesitant, unsure. Then gently touches his chest, right above his heartbeat. Naen. If he harms you, I will never forgive myself. Elias. If he harms me, it'll be 'cause I walked into his fire willingly. Not 'cause of you. She pulls her hand back, breath unsteady. Naen. Then I go with you. Elias freezes. Elias. Naen. You can't. Naen. Voice firm. I will face him. I will speak my own truth. I will no longer be the ghost he shapes in his mind. Elias searches her face. Then nods. Elias. All right. We go together. At dawn's full light. Naen exhales, fear and relief mingled. The sun finally breaks over the ridge, washing the land in gold. 2 horses stand saddled and ready. Elias places a steadying hand on Naen's arm as she mounts. She does not pull away. The dust lifts behind them like a whisper of fate. Elias and Naen ride side by side across a vast sweep of land as old as war itself. The desert stretches endlessly, its sands flaring gold beneath the strengthening sun. They move at a steady pace, neither fleeing nor chasing, simply advancing toward the heart of danger. A long silence coils between them, not hostile, but heavy with what both fear to say. The land begins to change. The soil darkens, the wind cools, and tall pillars of red stone rise like sentinels carved by forgotten gods. Naen slows her horse. Naen. Once we pass through this ridge, you will be seen. And you will not be welcomed. Elias. I never expected welcome. Just the chance to speak my piece. Naen looks at him, really looks, and something unspoken flickers through her expression. A warning. A plea. A fear too deep to name. Naen. My people do not hear pieces. They hear threats. Promises. Spirits. And punishments. Elias touches the brim of his hat, acknowledging a truth he cannot outrun. Elias. Then I'll speak plain. Men like your father seem to respect that more than pretty words anyway. She smiles faintly. A rare softness. A brief warmth before the storm. They reach the high ridge overlooking the hidden canyon village. Below. Dozens of Apache women tend fires, gather water, tan hides. Children run between the brush shelters. Horses are tied in neat rows near the stream. But it is the warriors who command attention. 15 of them. All armed. All waiting. And at their center. Chief Koana and Tarek, both mounted, both silent, both carved from stone. Naen exhales shakily. Naen. Once we go down, there is no turning back. Elias. Then let's go down honest. He nudges his horse forward. Naen follows. The descent is slow but unbearably tense. Each step of their horses sends pebbles scattering, each sound echoing across the canyon like a countdown. When they reach the canyon floor, the warriors part. Not out of respect, but to encircle them. Tarek rides forward, eyes burning. Tarek. In Apache. You return with him. You dare. Naen lifts her chin. Naen. I return of my own choosing. The warriors murmur, shocked, disapproving, bewildered. Tarek nearly trembles with rage. Tarek. He touched you. He held you in his house. You shame us. Elias steps forward, calm but unyielding. Elias. She ain't your possession, boy. She needed help, and I gave it. Nothing more than that. The warriors react instantly, hands flying to bows and rifles. Naen moves between Elias and the weapons. Naen. Stop. He speaks truth. Chief Koana finally dismounts. His presence alone silences the canyon. He steps toward Elias, his footsteps deliberate, his expression unreadable. Chief Kohana. You stand here. In my home. After taking my daughter into your walls. Elias. Somberly. I took her in because she was dying. Not because she was yours. But because she was human. A beat. The chief studies him, ruthless, assessing. Chief Kohana. And why did you return? To ask for a reward? To claim her? To steal her again? Elias meets the old warrior's gaze without flinching. Elias. No. I returned so she wouldn't walk back here alone into your anger. If you're to judge, judge me. Not her. A ripple moves through the war party, confusion, respect, irritation. Koana steps closer, their faces nearly inches apart. Chief Kohana. A white man. Protecting an Apache. This is the world turned upside down. Elias. Maybe the world needed turning. Tarek cannot hold back, he lunges forward, grabbing Naen by the arm. Tarek. Through clenched teeth. You abandoned your people for him. You would betray us all for a man of pale skin. Naen jerks free, her voice erupting with a force none expected. Naen. I abandoned nothing. I survived. And you. Stares into his eyes. Were not there to protect me. The words strike like arrows. Tarek staggers back, stunned. Even Kohana's expression shifts, barely, but undeniably. Elias speaks again, soft, controlled. Elias. Your anger with me. I'll take it. Every bit. But don't punish her for breathing. For living. Kohana's jaw tightens. Chief Kohana. You presume to tell me how to protect my blood? Elias. No. Just how not to lose her. A long silence. Koana finally turns to Naen. Chief Kohana. Daughter. Are you here of your own will? Naen steps forward, voice clear as a bell. Naen. I choose to stand by the man who saved my life. I choose to stand by truth. Not fear. The chief inhales through his nose, slowly, painfully. A father confronted not by an enemy, but by his daughter's unshakable awakening. Koana lifts his hand. The warriors withdraw a single step. A truce. A pause. A breath. Chief Kohana. Then let the spirits decide what to do with this man. Not rage. Not fear. Not my son. Koana turns his back on Elias. A gesture both dismissive and strangely merciful. Chief Kohana. You will remain under watch. Until judgment is passed. The circle of warriors closes again, less hostile, more cautious. Naen exhales, relief barely contained. Elias nods once, accepting the thin thread of mercy he's been offered. The canyon settles into a tense quiet. The tribe disperses slowly. Children ushered away, women whispering, warriors watching Elias with hawk-like intent. Tarek lingers last, staring pure fire into Elias's back. Tarek. In Apache. This is not over. Then he disappears into the shadows of the canyon.